Alright guys, we are back for another video, and I actually managed to pull Gin. I couldn't believe it. I actually managed to get him in my first 10 pull, and I also acquired his signature. Oh my goodness, where did I click here? Let me go back, right there, back to Gin. I also managed to acquire his signature weapon stamp at, I believe, 20 pulls. So really lucky today. I wasn't planning to go any further than maximum pity, so I only wanted to get one dupe. I don't really care about the core stamp for now. But anyways, we're gonna cover today everything there is to know about Gin, right? How to actually play him, how to build him, what weapon stamps are going to be best for him, skill leveling priorities, dupe priorities, best accessories, best teams, and whatnot. Like everything you need to know in order to get started with Gin. So let's get down with business. Alright, first things first, his weapon stamp. Now, of course, his signature weapon stamp is going to be the best. This one, no doubt, gives him the most benefits because it buffs basically when Impale is triggered a certain number of times. Gin gains the following buffs. He deals 20.5% more damage for 15 seconds. This stacks, triggered 2 more times. His crit rate increases. He will get an increase of attack, base attack percentage. So yeah, a lot of bonus effects with the signature weapon stamp. That being said, if you do not have the signature weapon stamp, you can actually go with the piercing thrust. Let me quickly see where it is. Oh yeah, I got too many. Let me quickly, no wait, I think I can find it. Did they add the filters for? No, they didn't. But let me quickly get rid of all of these ones here because we don't really need them. So yeah, let's go back here. Now it should be a bit more better. So let's quickly see. Piercing thrust, I believe that's the one. Yep, this one's going to be the best. The free-to-play option, right? If you do not have a signature weapon, because you're going to basically have an increased attack damage after dealing thrust damage, so this is going to be the best choice. Now, in terms of his skills, the way you wanna build him, of course. First things first, prioritize his passives. Now, his passive ability called 100 Blades. Gin's attack inflicts impale scale on the enemy. Upon reaching 100, triggers impale once, dealing damage equal to 500% of Gin's attack to the target. Except for Gin's attacks, his teammates' special attacks, techniques, battlefield skills, ultimates, and counterattacks also inflict 35 impale scales. So he's built around inflicting impale scales, right? Which basically sort of act as a burst sort of support sort of damage mechanic. It's not really a DOT, but it does count towards ailment damage within the game. So it's going to be very interesting to see this in action later. Of course, build his passives first. This is going to be the first one. After that, you want to prioritize his technique. Shinzo Unsheath. This is going to be his primary damage output because he's going to be able to enter a charging state if you hold down and tap and hold down the technique button, right, with at least one or more technique points. The charging state consumes the technique points per charge boost. So you're able to consume, if you have all three of them, for example. Releasing the skill button or upon depleting all technique points triggers an attack corresponding to the total points consumed during the charge state. Now, Gin is going to be invincible during charging. This is nice. This right here makes him actually pretty decent because he's not going to be able to get interrupted or anything. So this is nice. And he also recovers one technique point automatically every 10 seconds. He does have two or three separate techniques also with it, right? Consumes one technique point. He's gonna do a thrusting spear attack, basically extending his sword. Also inflicting, of course, impale scale. This one's only inflicting 12, the second one 24, and the third one actually 36. So he's dealing damage with each of them, and the inflicting of the impale scale count goes up. Just in case you're wondering what impale scale is, basically every time 100 impale scales are applied to an enemy, you're gonna trigger a Impale once, which deals damage equal to 500% of Gin's attack. So naturally, attack is going to be one of the stats you want to focus for Gin, but we're gonna come to that in a second. After building his technique, you want to prioritize his Bankai Kamishini no Yari. Gin fast approaches the enemy and performs multiple slashes and so forth. He will inflict 60 Impale scales, right? Which is going to come up very nice if you add this, for example, to the stage 3 of the attack, which is going to be the Blade Sundering Spear. Last but not least, you actually want to prioritize his basic attack the least. Not going to lie, this has the least priority in Gin's overall kit. Basically doing basic attacks is also going to inflict Impale scales with this, of course, but this doesn't have the highest priority. And last but not least, of course, is counter. So yeah, that's going to be the way you want to prioritize his skill leveling. All right, now dupes. This one's always a hot topic. If you're free to play, I'm just going to say it out loud. A0 is going to be enough. Right, you do not really need to go further. If you're looking to spend a bit and you just want to have Gin as good as it gets for, let's say, low resources, then going to A2 is going to be the best. Because A2, for every technique point consumed, the crit damage of the next ultimate is increased by 35%, stacking up to 6 times. Yo, this makes him do a lot of damage. Hitting the enemy with the final strike of the basic attack also reduces the technique points recovery time by 2 seconds. So A2 actually makes him very strong. And obviously you're going to get A1 as well, right? If you're going to go to A2, A1 naturally comes. So you're also getting immediately free technique points, which is basically the equivalent to Aizen being able to spam his battlefield skill immediately when the battle starts, right? So Gin is going to be able to charge up immediately and attack with his technique. That's going to be nice. Also, it fully restores his technique points after releasing his ultimate instead of just gaining 1 point. So this is another huge bonus point. After that, of course, A4 is going to be the next best thing because the Impale damage increases by a further 100%, but this is not really worth it. I'm not gonna lie, the A4 doesn't seem to just cut the chase. If you're gonna go to A4, you might as well just literally drop the bomb and go to A6. At A6, he becomes a hybrid DOT damage character because he will be able to deal venom, snake venom on the enemy, which is gonna deal damage equal to 50% of the attack every second. So this is a lot. If we compare this to, let's quickly take a look at Kaname. Where is he? Kaname? Let's quickly see where his wound is. So this, again, this is not even as high of a damage output as Gin. The difference here is this stack. So in total, of course, if you have 30 stacks, you're going to do 60% of the caster's attack, basically. So you're more or less going to do similar amounts of damage, right, per second. But yeah, Gin just does it all at once, and Kaname just doesn't do it all at once, right? But yeah, A6 is going to be obviously the stuff which is made for whales. Of course, you're also apart from the snake venom, right, you're dealing further damage equal to 40% on top of that, right? Also, while charging a technique point, an additional wide area thrust attack is released without interrupting the charge. So he's basically charging and still attacking. The attack range increases with the charge time, dealing damage up to 600% of attack. So this actually is pretty busted. I'm not gonna lie. This right here makes me low-key want to have him at A6, but I'm not really into Gin, right? I've never really been a fan of Gin too much. I mean, he's cool and that, yeah, but I've always been an Aizen dude. But anyways, that's going to be the stuff for whales. A2 is going to be the best for low spenders. All right, so if you're looking for a build for Gin, of course, his best core stamp is going to be his signature one. No doubt about that. His best one is going to be his signature one. If you do not have the signature one, like in my case, drop the still one to fight on him. This one here, each time a technique is dealt, triggers one additional attack of the same type, dealing damage equal to 49.5% of the current technique. So this is going to be pretty useful for him. Other than that, I don't really see as many options as there should have been. I feel like the complicated mood is going to be even as good as the still want to fight, but since the still want to fight is more applicable to most players, then of course getting this one onto Gin is going to be the best choice. But the complicated mood definitely works as well with Gin because it's a similar sort of mechanic. In terms of his core stamp setup, the Mocking Visage is going to be the best setup and is pretty much made for Gin. You want to prioritize ailment damage first. This is going to be a lot of damage boost for Gin. Apart from that, since I didn't really get too lucky with my farming here, you want to prioritize crit rate after this. I mean, honestly, guys, this is only 3-star, but this is literally a perfect piece. Like, it couldn't be any better than this. Like, ongoing. Every single stat here is exactly what we're looking. You know what? I'm going to lock this because I doubt I'm going to be finding something similar as good as this from 5-star piece. But yeah, I'm just going to use this for now until I get a better piece for 5 stars. But yeah, crit rate's going to be the second one you want to prioritize, and after that, attack. Now, I didn't have a single one with attack. This one here has attack, right? So of course, attack. This is going to be the third one you want to prioritize. And these 3 stats are pretty much everything he needs. Of course, you want to bring up his crit damage as well. Sure, because you want to do a lot of damage more with raw attack. But yeah, crit rate, ailment damage boost, and attack is going to be the way to go. And as for the bond, the best one is definitely this one. This is his signature bond, literally, because it increases the technique damage by 32% during battle when ailment damage bonus is equal or higher than 150%. So again, this basically tells you want to get this stat up here, right? Ailment damage bonus, you want to get it up. So if we're checking out our Gin right there, where is it? Ailment. Am I blind there? It's only at 79%. So this is going to be the stuff you want to maximize with him. Of course, crit damage and stuff like that. Attack, of course, as well. But this should have priority beyond everything else, right? So yeah, that's that. Now let's talk about teams, because a lot of people have been asking me what can I run him with. Is he even worth getting if I don't have specific characters? Now, as of now, right, if you're free to play, the best team is going to be Gin. Then it's going to be Uryu, right? Uryu is just perfect, right? And then it's going to be Rangiku. Now, Rangiku isn't in the game yet. Can we even see her here? No, we can't. Rangiku isn't in the game yet. She will be given out completely free to every single player with maximum dupes and everything. So check that out once it drops. It should be dropping sometimes next week, I believe. I could be wrong, but it should be dropping anytime now, right? So that's going to be the best setup for free-to-play players. If you have a premium lineup, then of course going with Gin as your main DPS, going with Kaname as your battlefield skill unit. This is going to be the best one for filling that spot, and of course going to be going with Kisuke Urahara as the ultimate support for the team. This is going to be as good as it gets. Alright, so let's actually jump into gameplay. I'm gonna run the premium team here, actually. We're doing the current event match. Now, as you can see, my Gin is barely even ready. Yeah, I didn't really bother farming for him because I wasn't really planning on getting him beyond A0. So currently my Aizen literally just destroys the entire game. Like, it doesn't matter. I can even show you in a second the trial towers. Like Aizen, you know what, matter of fact, I'm just gonna show you guys now. Matter of fact, Aizen literally just so broken. We finished every single trial tower. Like, literally just with Aizen. Like, every single one is just beyond ridiculous how good Aizen is. That's why I didn't really bother at first. But yeah, we'll do a run here, a couple of runs, and we're gonna try and see if we can break down a bit of Gin's gameplay and how to actually play him, like rotations and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get into this one. All right, there he is. We're gonna keep this on auto actually, because on PC again I can't play for my life. So of course, first things first, technique of the battlefield skill character, then into Kisuke, the support, getting those reishi stacks up, and then it's Gin's time, literally. Spamming his attacks, making sure you're also charging up. Now, this stage, I don't really think this is going to be a good way of showcasing what he's able of doing, because the enemies are just too low on HP. We did draw the Impale just there. Once you have Impale stacks ready, you're gonna see this on the top right here. You will see the Impale icon once it's ready. Once it there it is. See, once it's full, you're basically proccing the Impale, which is gonna cause extra damage to the opponent, and that's basically how his mechanic works. The nice thing is, the synergy between Gin and Kaname is actually pretty good. I know I used to in a previous video I said the synergy, I'm kind of worried about that. I do believe it is actually pretty nice, because Gin is actually doing a lot of passive damage with his Impale, better now as expected, and also Kaname's damage is proccing. Well, yeah, let's jump into the next one. Let's check this one out. Now, the rotations are fairly easy. Again, very easy to play, to be honest, as of now. Rotations always going to be technique of your tactical character first, then into the support, ideally Kisuke, and then into Gin. And when it's Gin's time, try to stack up your Impales, of course, using basic attacks and stuff, and utilize your technique points. Ideally waiting for free always, and then using them. Charge up, hold the charge button, and then being able to spam your damage. Now, since I'm playing on auto, I do think the AI kind of messes this up, but we'll see. Okay, no, the AI actually did it. It actually used all 3 technique points to get the job done, so that's actually pretty good. And we finished it. Nice. Let's quickly see. I know we're not even full level here, but let's see the damage overview. Gin did actually fairly good, considering he's not even at maximum what he should have been now, and he's actually doing not too bad, right? So yeah, guys, that's it from me. I hope this is going to be helpful for anyone struggling on how to actually get your Gin ready. He's actually pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he feels very fluid when playing. Now, if I'm comparing to Aizen though, Aizen still has the upper edge, especially at A4 and above. Aizen is just too much of a powerhouse to be compared to. Gin, however, is pretty F2P friendly. Like, if you're just looking for a DPS. If you want to have maximum synergy with Gin, running him with Kaname and stuff, then of course at A6 he's going to be the best, because that basically unfolds his maximum damage potential. Now, if I was a new player and I had the resources, as a free-to-play, I would definitely try to get, if I want to run Gin, like if you're starting now and you do not have anything better, then getting Gin is definitely a good choice, of course. I would try to get him to at least A2. At A2, again, is going to be the best for what you get, right? You're going to get an increase of crit damage, you're getting technique points recovery, you're having instant technique charge. So yeah, this one is the stuff, definitely. So A2 is going to be very much appreciated if you're starting out fresh. But anyways, guys, let me know down below in the comment sections what you think about Gin. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.